people do web development? Can you guys raise your hands? Any web people? Anyone does app dev? Okay, anyone does ML? Okay, so when you form your team, right? So have it such that you have one of each specialty. So you can, build a team that has a person who's good at things, so that instead of having a team where you have only web dev people and you have to do a problem that has app development, you might not fare well, right? So divide your team according to your strengths, play to your strengths, and form a team with your friends or someone who worked with well. So that should, give you a good head start about forming teams. If your friends are a bit hesitant, then find new friends. Okay, cool. Sure, let's go comment Ananjay.
So you are done with forming a team. You have a great team with diverse nature. So now, once you form a team, you need to understand what their strengths are. Some people may be good at backend, some people may be good at front end, some may be good with UX. So you need to know everyone's strength and their approaches toward the problem and assign the task accordingly. One thing you can also do is divide the team. So if it is a big team, say 6 people or 5 people, you can divide it in separate sections such that one section will handle the backend part and one section will handle the front end part, and maybe have a lead for each of the section, as he can divide people then. He can assign tasks to each of them. After that, you need to keep track of progress and use GitHub to collaborate. So trust me guys, you do not want to just code. You need to see what your goals are, how you are reaching them, is they are feasible or not. So you need to keep track of the progress, and you must use Git and GitHub to collaborate. So bit about GitHub. So it is a platform which hosts your repositories, basically your code base. So you need to, few of the things which you need to keep in mind, you can create a README file. So a README file is basically which gives a project description. So what your project is, how it is built, how you can deploy, run it, and everything. You need to manage all the commits, issues, and code changes. So if you are leading the team, you need to see if your commits are regular, if is there any open issue, you need to resolve it. And last thing, that maintain a multiple branches for quick change damage repository. So what happens is that when you work together as a team, right? So some people are doing, try to keep separate files of each. So create multiple branches. Each person will work on one branch, and then will merge these branches. If you do not do this, then something like this will happen. It is called merge conflicts. So yeah.
Trust me, you don't want to be in a place where there's a merge conflict. So this is like just before your deadline for a hackathon, you will merge all your code together, and you'll find out that they don't work well, which is why you have checkpoints, why you have branches. So if something fails, roll back to a different branch and continue from there. So this is like stuff that we've done. We've gone through these problems, and we said, okay, no, this is like a good way that we could take it forward. Right? Yeah. So,
Okay. Hackathons are sometimes stressful because you're suddenly bombarded with a lot of tasks in your hand. You gotta first code everything, you gotta brainstorm new ideas, and at some point you'll have some friggin' bug that pops out and you don't know how to solve it. Suddenly you're stuck waiting there for 2 hours thinking how to solve that. So you gotta think, you gotta know what's happening, and you gotta decide what proper steps should be taken. So first, an important task in workload balancing is to prioritize tasks. You don't want to beautify your UI while your backend isn't created itself, because your backend is also important for your hackathon because that integrates everything. Next, transparency is required. Transparency is important because when you're working as a team, you need to know what each and every teammate is doing and what are their tasks and what's their progress. That way you can either move ahead with your another task or you can stop and jump to another. And next, bugs. Bugs are annoying, but depending on the time left and depending on the situation of the bug, you can either review the bug and decide what to do. You can replace it. That is, instead of using the module that you are using, which created the bug, you can just Google out another module and use that itself. That way, the complete bug is eliminated, and maybe you'll get another new bug. You never know. Or revert back. Suddenly, I have a bug at the last moment, 10 minutes before my submission in my hackathon. What should I do? I'll just go back to the previous commit. That is, I don't want this bug to pop up during my presentation, so I'll just revert back. And presentations. One important thing in a hackathon is presenting. You gotta communicate well, and you gotta have appropriate slides that portray your idea. That is, presentation plays a major role. And an important tip for whoever decides to become a team lead is delegation. Because team members sometimes are lazy and they don't take tasks up. So you gotta delegate, you gotta assign them tasks, and you have to know their strengths, and then assess them, and then assign those tasks with a proper deadline, so that work gets done and you eventually end up winning it. So Bhagya will take over.
Yeah, so as a developer, none of us like to rebuild the components, right? We don't want to reinvent the wheel. So there is a famous philosophy that is called a dry philosophy, that is, don't repeat yourself. Like, you don't want to waste your time creating a sign-up page for 2 hours and just waste your time there, right? So what you do is you pick up the already built up codes and you use that, and that's how you take parts in hackathons, right? So like there are also other, for example, if you want to create your own custom backend, but the same functionality is provided by the Firebase, right? So you don't want to create your waste your time in creating your own custom backend. Use Firebase and move on. For other examples, you want to insert some ML models in your project, and your track is not AI ML, so you don't want to create and train your own model by giving some dummy data. Instead, you can take pre-built ML libraries such as TensorFlow, and also you can use OAuth 2, which is quicker authentication, which is for quicker authentication. Firebase also provides authentication for faster and quick authentications. So yeah, just don't rebuild the components and save your time.
Cool.
So
Yeah, so coming to the point on productivity. So hackathons are an orchestra of productivity. So you have to figure out, as in the previous slides we discussed, how to divide up the workflow and stuff. But being productive over a span of 36 hours is a very difficult task, right? You might feel tired, you might forget things, you might have feedback from judges, and you might forget things. So I think here are a few tools that we've been using to keep ourselves productive during a hackathon, right? So the first thing is called Trello. Trello is basically something called Kanban boards. Have any of you heard what Kanban boards are? Okay, so Kanban boards are basically like a big board with stickers on them. So they used to be physically stickers and say, this is what I'm doing right now, this is what I will do right now, and this is what is left out to do. So you can have this Kanban set up, and there's an application called Trello, which you guys should really be using. It even helps you in college, even in assignments and homeworks and stuff. So what you do is you say, this is the work I have to do, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what the feedback I've gotten from my judges, and this is what I have to build. And you have a column of stuff that you've done. So in your team, whoever's building with you know what is going on currently and what they should be left. So we don't have cases where multiple people are working on the same thing. Because in a team of about 5-6 people, you might have people rebuilding the same components to no end. So if we have a Trello board or like a Kanban board, we know exactly what's going on. So GitHub implements Kanban boards on their own. Trello is very popular. It has integrations with email and chat and stuff. So that also works well, right? Other one is Postman. How many of you have done API testing? How many of you do web, right? Have you heard of Postman? How many of you use Postman on a very regular basis, right? Yeah, so use Postman. Test your APIs. Make sure it works well. Then GitHub workflow. So for example, if you build your stuff locally and you want to deploy it on a cloud service, GitHub Workflows will build this thing out for you and organize it well and then deploy it to cloud. So it makes life a bit easier instead of opening up a VM, installing on the VM and building it there. Third thing is Figma. Does people who do UI UX raise your hands? Right? App developers? Yeah, I guess all of you have heard about Figma. So you know that you can export code from Figma, right? So you use Figma to not only build your apps, but also to generate slides. So sometimes the standard slide packs that are available with Google Slides might not be as feature complete as you like. So maybe create your own slides and make it look visually appealing, because a lot of how you sell to your judges is visual appeal. So if it looks great, the judges will be interested. So especially when you're judging around at like 10 o'clock at night, judges are tired, you're tired. So if something looks good, people will be attracted to it. So make stuff that looks good, right? Finally, deploying apps. So a lot of people, how many of you have heard of Heroku? Do you know what is happening with Heroku right now? Yes. Yes. So Heroku is going paid. So there are other stuff that you can use. So if you have your college email IDs, you can get $100 free on Azure. So and deploy your apps on Azure or even Google Cloud per se. Google Cloud gives you $300. You can deploy your apps on Google Cloud. So these app engines automatically handle scaling. So in case if you have a lot of demand at once, these things will take care of it instead of opening up a VM and running on the VM. Finally, is GitHub Copilot. Does anyone know what GitHub Copilot is? Yes. Anyone there? Yes, Chant.
Automatic code generation.
Yes. Autocomplete code basically. It's autocomplete code for your entire code base. So if you say create a page that accepts a login, GitHub Copilot will automatically fill a login form for you, create all the templates and all that. So if you guys can get access to GitHub Copilot, you definitely should. Makes life very easy, especially people who designing like HTML websites and stuff. It's great. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to presentation tips. I think Samyak will take over this.
Okay, so important thing is how you present your PPT, because whatever you are doing in past like 36 hours and all, you have to present it to the jury and to the judges. So there are some points you have to keep in mind while presenting. Summarize the problem. What is your problem statement? How you understand it well. And second one is explain the team solution. First, go through mark a way how your solution will work, and then expand how your solution will work. And then explain the benefits of your solution, your unique selling points, how your solution is different from the existing one and from your peer teams. So, and consider expanding any topic only if it requires additional coverage, or like if it is a USP or something. Next slide. So always while expanding your topic, always make a vivid story. Always rely on your solid research. Always do solid research and go. And don't load the slide with too much content. It makes the slide distractive, and don't make the mentors to clarify what your exact solution is. And the content of the slides should support the narrative. That's the most important thing, because your presentation is a thing like on that basis only your mentors, your judges will be judging you. So keep in mind these things for the presentation.
All right. Just a quick session for you, just to help you guys understand how to make a proper presentation. Me and Suraj are gonna do a short demo of a good cop, bad cop. Let's take an example of, say, a study buddy app. That is, you have an application through which you will find a friend or someone through which you can study in the college itself. So, yeah, friends. I'll be the bad cop, and Suraj will be the good cop.
Yeah, and so what we'll be doing is we'll be presenting the same idea, which is a study buddy app. Jayant will be giving one sort of presentation, and I'll be giving one sort of presentation. And the idea is to demonstrate, how, give you an idea on how to present your topic. You need to make it engaging for the audience, and at the same time not give out very unnecessary details. And you should also try to relate to the audience in a way. So let's say your judges are sitting here, and by looking at them you can sort of guess their age or maybe their experience if they were introduced before. So the content that you have to say, it should match that. So on that note, let's start this.
Hello everyone. I am here to talk about my application titled Study Buddy. This app was designed using Flutter and Firebase. Whenever there is no internet connection, what I use is I save all the details in a text file so that everything is saved, including the passwords. Whenever needed, they can instantly access it. To find a friend, what I do is I have a list of users, and whenever someone hits the search button, I just run a random function, and through which a random person is selected and shown. So this is the main rundown. In the backend side of things, it's just Firebase, which has a regular authentication system present. In the front end, I have written code in HTML, and There is also a bit of JavaScript present. This helps us create a proper website. And one of my teammates also learned Flutter recently, so he ended up coding a small application in Flutter that also integrated. This was a short app that we created in a really short time. We didn't know much, but we tried our best, so that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Jain's presentation. What is it? A study buddy app, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of you have heard of Tinder or Bumble? Raise your hands, please. How many of you are on Tinder or Bumble? All right. So imagine an app like that where it's so easy to use and so easy to find new people, but you're using it to find study buddies and find notes. So, you know, during exam times, often you feel lonely and think you don't have friends. But using our study buddy app, you can just find people who are studying the same topic at the same time. Or even if you do not want to engage with this person, you can just swipe right on them, steal their notes, and use it for your own sake. So what we are trying to deliver here is a way for you to discover an audience that is in the same stage as you. You do not have to go begging on your class group or go poke that friend who has been studying from 6 a.m. in the morning and refuses to share the note. 4:30 a.m. Sorry, 4:30 a.m. in the morning and refusing to share a note. So this app that we have built, it works very similar to Tinder. The UI UX is very similar to Tinder. And we have, in order to promote our app to new audiences, we have a referral program. So which means that if I share it with someone, so what's that app that Clubhouse, right? Yes. Yeah, so Clubhouse started out on a referral system, and we want to take that example and integrate it into our business model and rollout plan. So new users would be sharing out referrals, and people join in through these referrals and earn points. And why points, you say? Because if you give an app with no points, then people will not use it. So we want to incentivize our users who can gain points by either uploading notes or sharing stuff with other students. And these points accumulate at the end, and they can redeem certain goodies at the end of it. So it's sort of like your Flipkart Supercoins or something like that. So that is our presentation for this hackathon. Thank you.
Sir, send notes.
So this is how you just saw how a good presentation and a bad presentation sounds like. Right? The second Suraj spoke about Tinder, you guys all woke up. You guys all connected. So this is how you talk to your judges. This is how you bring your points across. You connect them on a different level. So let's say the person's very technical. Connect them on a technical level. If the person's very non-technical or very about the big picture, talk to them about those things. So this is how you make a good presentation. Right? So now coming to understanding your judges. Right? So we've been saying this for all a while, but talk to your judges first. Introduce yourself to them. Ask them find out who they are. So then you can tailor your presentation to your judges. Let's say your judge is a web pro. He's been working in the industry for the past 15 years. He knows his tech stacks in and out. So talk to him about how you implemented something new. Talk to them about how you implemented a new feature. How about a new technology you're learning. So then you can connect with them on that level. Not only do you get good points, second, you also network well, which is another good reason why you should come to a hackathon. This could actually turn out to give you a job at the end of it. That happened to me in one of our hackathons. So it's not that you should know them, and then that way you can connect with them. Right? So yeah, so let's have common mistakes. I think Supreeth will take over common mistakes.
Hello all. So I'll be listing out the common mistakes that one can do. So yeah, there are many mistakes that one person can commit in a hackathon. We have just noted down a few. So let's start over. First one is building a non-versatile team. So yeah, in the slide where others spoke about how to build a team, we spoke about the versatile nature that a team should have. One person should be an expert in back end, one doing front end, one can be an app developer, one who is very good at machine learning, one who does the Dockerizing, hosting part. So it's very, very necessary to make sure that there is a team which is versatile so that tasks can be divided among yourselves. Yeah. And the next one is not focusing on building a workflow. So when you start, the hackathon, each and every hackathon has a timeline. It can be either 24 hours, 36 hours, or 48 hours. You have limited time. So it's very important to make a workflow and plan how you spend your time on building what part. You cannot just sit and do only back-end part for the entire 36 hours and front-end part for the entire 36 parts, and there is no time to integrate them together. So it's very important that you allot time, maybe 2 hours, one person will be working on front end, 2 hours, one person will be working on the back end. So at the same time, here, versatility of the team is also important, so that the work happens concurrently and you can integrate them when you have the time. And you have to test it out before presenting it to the judges and the mentors. So yeah, needlessly complicating the project. So there was a slide that said, you don't have to rebuild what already exists. So you don't have to spend your time on not so important things like say 4 or 5 hours just to build one login page, or maybe some UI UX like light mode, dark mode, this mode, that mode. They have to be added to the project. They need to be a part of your solution, but they are not the major component. So you don't have to spend your time where it's not necessary. Maybe you need more time in integrating the front end, the back end, and the APIs. So you can use plugins or the existing features and use the ones that are already in your hand. You are not here in hackathons. What you need to do is smart work, not hard work. So yeah, not giving emphasis on presentation. So presentation is the key. Whatever project you build does the part of hackathon, it does half of the part. The remaining half of the part depends upon how you present it to the judges, how you communicate your idea, how successful you are in making the judges understand what your solution is. Based on that, they will be evaluating you. You might have built the best product out of all the teams that are present, but if you're not able to communicate how your product will work, then maybe you won't have a chance in winning the hackathon. So make sure you allot some time to rehearse the presentation before you go on the dais and pitch out your idea. Then settling to unrealistic goals. So in hackathon, the time is very stipulated. So you have to keep your goals something that can be achieved in those 36 hours. You cannot think of building an entire Google search engine in 36 hours. You need to settle down to something that's small but also serves the similar purpose. So it's very important to make sure you have objectives to do and what is necessary to complete the solution that you want to give in that hackathon. So that's what I would tell you all.
A small mantra for setting unrealistic goals is under promise, over deliver. So tell them that you're going to do X, but give them X plus 5. Give them more features or more things that you can show in the next round. And one more thing is, don't show everything off in your first round of judging. Right? Progressively give out more features. Progressively give out more features so that the judges feel like you've done a lot of work in this short duration of time. So if you under promise and over deliver, they know that you can always do more. Right? So one more thing, I'll give you an example about a workflow. Let's say you're building an e-commerce platform. So you'll have, a workflow should contain logging in, making an order, deleting an order, maybe postponing an order. So have an entire workflow which you can demo to your judges. So your judges know that you have a feature complete app. So if you demo something that works, they look like you've done most of the work already. All that's left are the tiny features or all the bells and whistles that make it look nice. So this is an example of how you would build a complete workflow. So now we have a few SIH winners here with us. I think if you guys have questions for them, and they will maybe introduce their problem statement and tell you what they did and what set them apart, right? So can we have Jayant to come over?
Hello everyone. I was part of a team that qualified for SIH, luckily enough, because we didn't make it to the top 10 internally. That is, top 10 was the allotted people who were supposed to go. SIH fortunately decided to increase the number of teams that are supposed to go, so we ended up joining the list who are gonna go to finals. So internally we didn't do that well, but once we got into finals, suddenly adrenaline rush happened, and we were like, this is our chance to shine and we have to win. So SIH finals was there, and our the place where we had to go was Assam, like 3,500 kilometers away. So all of us were shocked. Like, some people were like, let's not go, let's not do it. It's one chance, one opportunity, so let's take it. And we went. Like, 6 tickets were booked, 4 people came, so we took flight, we went there. And we chose a problem statement that tackled environmental impact, and also, before jumping into that, how many of you know what supply chain is? Okay, Samyak, what's supply chain? Okay, supply chain is something like everyone buys products from Amazon, right? So how a product from place A comes to place B and what all happens is a rough idea of what supply chain is. So now, globally, there are a lot of products and globally there are a lot of consumers. So the problem statement asked us to create an application or any system that could rate these products and provide consumers the information about every product's environmental impact. That is, create awareness among consumers. So here's the first mistake that all of our competing teams did. When they read the term awareness, immediately their head went to NGOs. The problem statement asked to create an application or a system that could provide consumers the awareness of a particular product. Awareness doesn't mean joining NGOs together and helping them out. Awareness means providing knowledge. So what we ended up creating was an application titled EcoTag. So what EcoTag does is, be any product, that is a regular water bottle or a huge aeroplane, it rates it by comparing every similar product out there and generates a value from 1 to 5. So now consumers also have another comparison value to purchase products. That is, if I want to buy a Bisleri water bottle, I'll see Aquafina as well. Suddenly Aquafina has a 5-star rating compared with Bisleri. Now my mind tilts away and thinks that buying Aquafina is also better to the environment. Let's buy that. So EcoTag provides that to the world, and this is just a proper front part. In the back end, we did a lot of stuff because EcoTag calculation requires using NLP. How many of you know what NLP is? Okay, someone over there. What's NLP? All right, natural language processing. So what we did was used product titles and generate categories, and using these categories, we grouped the products and we ran a statistical model. This statistical model helped us generate a rating from 1 to 5. Huh? Okay. The statistical model helped us to generate a rating from 1 to 5, which created an application that was different from our competitors and also was unique. That is, there exists no product out there in this world. So that made us stand out, and we then created certain features that could help manufacturers shift from a regular production unit to an environmentally production unit by recommending them suppliers, a better traffic route, etc., which I won't dive in too deep. But yes, that was the top layer of things. Each hackathon has judging rounds in between, and suddenly during the first judging round itself, a judge told us to implement computer vision for some reason. Here we are using barcodes, and he's like, what if a product doesn't have a barcode? I want to click the picture of this Bisleri bottle, and it should tell me that Bisleri bottle has this rating. How are you gonna do that? I don't have time enough to train a model to detect Bisleri bottles. So since my whole backend was hosted on Microsoft Azure, Azure provided us with a computer vision API already. So all I had to do was integrate that to our backend, and it was solved in an instant. So that is the reason why we had put in the slide titled, "Do not reinvent the wheel." When you have products that could solve your solution, use that. That will make your life easier and help you reach your goal quicker. All right, any questions?
Does the hackathon hosting company ask you to build a specific app or a website, or a mixture of
It completely depends on whoever frames the problem statement. Some of them can be open-ended, some of them can be point-to-point, that is, they mention their objectives clearly. Or some of them will be like, just build something, whatever, like it can be a mobile app, a web app. We need this to be present. So it's all completely based on who the problem statement setter is and what the judges feel like. Sometimes judges will be like, you can do this, you can do that. Or they'll be like, you have to do this. That time, taking in judges' input are completely necessary because you'll be evaluated in terms of that. Skipping them and doing whatever you feel like isn't recommended because judges will be evaluating you and not yourself. So remember that. Anything else?
Yeah, in this case of our CentuRITon hackathon, the problem statements are very broad. You have tracks. So you have an AI/ML track, a blockchain track, a web track, and you have an industry track. So this lets you expand your creativity. Anything that fits into that problem statement, you can come up with a solution with. So this hackathon is quite open-ended in that sense, so that you have a lot of freedom. But some of them are very specific and I want to do X, Y, Z in specific thing, and you'll have to go there.
I'm guessing that completes the questionnaire. So next.
Cool.
Okay.
Sure. So how many of you use InShots? Do you know what InShots is? Yes? News app, right? Yeah. So for our hackathon, me and Suraj and 5 other people had gone to Smart India Hackathon, and we also won. Unlike Jayant, ours was very close by. It's only about 5 hours away. And what we built was basically a text summarization toolkit for the government. So every time you open up InShots, right, all your news is condensed in about 50, 60 words. Right? So we built a solution that could automatically summarize government press releases and send push notifications to people. And we built a backend for the Press Information Agency, which was the organizer for our hackathon. And they wanted a tool that could automatically summarize news events and let them, send them out to the public. So that is what they asked us, and we basically built an app and a Chrome extension that could automatically scrape a website, generate summaries, get it approved by the government agency, and generate graphics and infographics. So that is what we built. So ours relied very heavily on machine learning. We built a huge machine learning pipeline in the backend running on multiple servers. So this is very technically very difficult. So what I feel set us apart was that we took feedback very seriously from the judges. So we were very open to adapt our approaches. So we went up with one approach and the judges were quite satisfied with it. But the judges saw what other teams were doing and said, why don't you guys implement that? So because we were able to implement that in that very short period of time, I feel the judges felt like this team could do a very good job, which is why we won. Right? So that is one thing. And one more thing, that the judges came up with very absurd requests, which is make sure that you could read your text out or accept audio podcasts, and then if you could summarize those. Right? So they were giving us challenge after challenge, so to see what was our breaking point. So luckily we were able to meet all their challenges. So that is how you should, which is when you under-promise and over-deliver. So we said, yes, sir, we will build this by the next round. By the next round, we had 2 extra features. So that is how we felt like we could build more and show more to the judges. So I think that is how we did our hackathon. So if you guys have any questions for me, especially if it's like NLP related or if it's like deployment related, I could be happy to take them.
Right. So like Supreeth said, our problem statement was text summarization using artificial intelligence. So when we say that, if someone in the audience could say what they would build given this problem statement, that'd be great. So one of you. The problem statement is text summarization using artificial intelligence. So what exactly will you build during your hackathon? Anyone? So I'm going to write a Python script and just leave it at it, or how does that work? So okay, by show of hands. So given this problem statement, I would build a Python script which takes in a large press release and gives me a 50-60 word summary. How many of you think that's right? Okay. Now I will give an input. So how many of you have heard of chatbots? All right, so where are they usually present?
Telegram, correct.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a chatbot. Let's say I integrate it with Google Assistant. So I say, hey Google, summarize this article for me. And it will summarize the article and give it. How many of you think this would be a good solution? How many of you think this would be impressive? Because it's Google Assistant and we are using things that are on everyone's phones. All right. So one of you who raised your hands, could you please stand up and I have a question to ask you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so we're talking about a Google Assistant bot, right?
Yeah.
What would be the input?
The input would be your voice.
Voice.
Yeah.
So I would be saying the summary, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, the press release, I would be saying it. And Google Assistant captures that and gives me an output of 50, 60 words. It will tell it out to me. Now, technologically, this sounds super cool because you have AI coming in and you have natural language processing because Google Assistant has to understand you. And you're integrating it with Google services. That's cool. But can someone point out a flaw over here? So his workflow is that they activate Google Assistant and they read out an entire press release and Google Assistant will summarize it for you. So can anyone point out a flaw? Okay, you can't read an entire press release. Anything else?
It may misread a word.
Yes, that's a really good one. So you can't expect the user to read an entire press release and it may misread a word. So can you suggest an alternative to the person just reading out the entire thing?
So you could also provide a editing option while you just speaking. You could also rewrite it if the bot writes it wrong.
Right.
So yeah.
But the press release usually will have around 1,000 words or 800 words. So it's not possible to write it. So instead of the person copy pasting it or saying it, is there any other way we could see the press release? Photo, all right. One more thing. Close to photo. The answer will be very close to a photo. Scan the text from? Yes, that's a really good answer. So what we did, you can sit down. Stickers and chocolates that way, please. Yeah. So what we did is scanning the text from a particular web page. So these press releases are on the PIB's website, pib.gov.in. So what we did is the user will have to go to the website and there'll be a Chrome extension. They simply press the button and our Chrome extension will scan the entire web page for the article, take all the 1,000 words, and then it will send it to our AI model. What I'm trying to emphasize here is, no matter how cool, I have to admit a Google Assistant bot that works flawlessly is much, much cooler than a Chrome extension. But no matter how cool it is, if it doesn't make sense for someone to use it, then you will not score points in your hackathon. So you need to make your product usable by reducing the cognitive load on the person. So you can't expect the person to say it out loud or read out the entire thing. You need to remove that step from the user's headache to the computer's headache. So I think the thing with artificial intelligence is we try to make our work easier by letting the computer do the difficult or mundane tasks, right? So that's we need to support that initiative with our software. Now, apart from the Chrome extension, what we did was so I have an AI model and it has generated a summary from my press release. How many of you think it will be 100% accurate? 99%? 90? Yeah, 90%. So how much did we achieve?
We got like 70% accuracy on our models.
Right. So how would you combat this problem? So you have a press release and the summary, we are releasing it to public. Everyone in the country will see it, but it's just 70% accurate. So how would you correct this problem? Sorry?
Yeah, you can
Train the model
train
more?
the model better, but we have only 36 hours, right? So we're constrained on time there. So we did a very smart thing was we built an edit option there for the government. So they can edit the press release, and then we provided controls to the model. So we could like tune the model here and there and get much better performance on each and every example. So these are little things that you'll have to do here and there to get your slight edge over your other teams. Most other teams used existing models. We trained our own model, deployed it, did all the background work, all the heavy work, and we were able to get slightly good performance.
So what I wanted to highlight with this example is, there is an inherent problem with your model right now. So the problem is that it's only 70% accurate and there are lots of typos or missing points in your summary. So how do you fix this? You bring another player into the perspective. You bring a PIB official. That's what we did. So any summary that AI automatically summarizes for us, it has to be vetted or reviewed by a government official first. So when we told this to our judges, they do not focus on the 70%, the low accuracy of our model. They focus on the fact that we have included one more player And after this person edits it, right, you can say that it's 100% accurate because a human has reviewed it. So when I advertise it to them in my presentation, I'm not going to say we built a model with 70% accuracy, which then a human will make proper. I will say that we made a model which, we made a product that gives a 100% accurate summary. Later, if they ask me, I'll tell the model is 70% and our human is correcting it. So what you need to do is you sell your product with the best working numbers, and when they ask you, you give the breakdown. So it's always better to say, you know, I have, let's say I'm running Google DSC, right? I will go tell a company that we have, what, 5,000 members. Do you see 5,000 members on our Telegram or Instagram? No. And if they ask me where are the 5,000, I'll add up Instagram, I'll add up LinkedIn, Telegram, and all that. So that's what. So take the best working figures of your model, of your project, present it to the judges, present it to the audience. And when they further ask you, you can break it down in a very sensible manner. Do not scam them, but yeah, break it down in a very sensible manner. So that's one of the key tips that we use during our hackathon. And the other thing that Supreeth mentioned was under promise and over deliver. It does wonders. So let's say in case of CentuRITon, we'll talk about that more right now. So you guys come up with an idea and you have to build it during the 36 hours. Let's say some team, got really smart and they started building it 2 days before. And your team is really good. You have like people who are working at senior positions in companies, 2 working professions in your team, 2 students. Everyone's really good. Your product's really ready and you're sure you'll win the hackathon. Come the first round of judging. Judges are in front of you. You present your entire product to the judges. They're really happy. What will you do in the second round of judging? What will you show them? You cannot show them the same thing again. They'll say, I've already seen this. So you get like 100 points in your first round and you get 0, 0, 0 in your next 3 rounds. You lose the hackathon despite having the best product. So that's why under promise and over deliver. Show small things throughout the judging rounds. Tell them that you will make X and deliver to them X plus 5. So that's some of the strategies that you guys have to keep in mind. And regarding CentuRITon, I would like to invite Geetanjali ma'am to the stage. She is one of the faculty coordinators for CentuRITon, and she will talk more about the event.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. It's really nice to see you all. This is a very, very important year or a milestone for RIT. One being the founder's 100th year. So it is going to be his 100th birth year and RIT's 60th year. So commemorating this, we are starting the flagship event, nothing but CentuRITon. So we came up with this hackathon, reason being we wanted to do something really technical where all the students will be interested, because hackathon is something that is in the move right now. Many of them are interested in a lot of activities like hackathon nowadays. So being a technical college, we wanted something that's going to benefit the students, as well as we will make a good name in the industry, and it will also benefit the people around here. So for that, we started with a hackathon event called as the CentuRITon. And we're having 4 tracks. One is AI/ML. Then second one is going to be blockchain and cybersecurity. Third one is going to be the IoT track. And the 4th one is going to be the open innovation. So this open innovation is an industry track. We've already got statements from few companies. We are also expecting in a day or 2 problem statements to come from another top company as well. And in this open innovation track, for each problem statement the company is going to give us a prize money of 25,000. So in the industry track, if there are 10 problem statements, that means to say each problem statement is going to have 25,000 as the crash prize. Apart from it, we have 3 other tracks that are there, right? In that also, if somebody wins the track, they get 25,000. And overall, the first prize will get 1.5 lakhs. The second one is going to be 1 lakh, and then 50,000. So you've got a good double bonanza here. If you're in one of the tracks, probably let's say you're in an industry track, and the industry or the open innovation and industry track, there is a problem statement, and the problem statement is belonging to AI/ML as well. You can even show it in the AI/ML domain and as well as in the industry track itself. And the best part is that you might win there are high chances that you might win the track prize. So in case if you are also getting the first prize and the track prize, you take 1.50 plus 25,000 along with it. Okay. Being from RIT, this is our college, this is our event. Submit, start from here, might be with the wishes of our founder chairman. We are starting from here, might be it's going to change your lives. So take it as a challenge, might be it's a learning curve for you. Started from our very own college. We have even mentors who are going to come from the industry. No mentors are from our college. We are very particular on that. The mentors are going to come from the industry only. And we're not just taking anybody standing on the street to come in. We're very crucially, we are trying to understand who they are, what they are, and very critically evaluate them and then take the mentors, not just somebody who's just coming and posing themselves that they are from the industry and so on. More than anything, the mentors will be there with you in case of any confusion, in case of any doubt, in case of any problem. They're always there with you throughout the hackathon, guiding you where you can improvise things. And they would be there for all the 3 days. And the jury is also not going to be somebody just standing on the streetway or just walking around here. It's again from the industry, proper people who are going to come and they're going to judge you. There's no bias. So for that reason, we are not inviting any of our alumni. No college faculty, no alumni will be part of the online judging. Everything will be absolute transparent. So people who are non-alumnus of this college only are going to be the judges. And we are also trying to get in people like architects or somebody who's there in the CTO roles and so on to be there along judging. Reason being, maybe they can give you a better insight if the project is talking about X. They spoke about x plus 5. Maybe they can give you x plus 5 to the power of 2, right? So they can help you, they can mentor you in that way. So to ensure that, I'm not telling x plus 5 is wrong, but then you're starting in this college, you are delivering x plus 5. Maybe the jury or the mentor would help you achieve x plus 5 to the whole part 2, might be in the next event that you're trying to go forward. So you can keep this as your stepping stone. That's what I'm meaning. I'm not trying to condemn anyone here. So I'm just telling, maybe your mentor comes in, might be they're giving you some idea, might be that idea can change your life. Why not start it from RIT itself? So this is your college, this is your event. So I hope you all participate and make your lives a better place to live with. So I wish you all the very best. Thank you for the time. Yeah.
So now, how many of you have already registered for CentuRITon? All right. How many of you have submitted your ideas already? Okay, yeah. So on the next slide, let's keep. One second. All right, so this is a QR code to register for CentuRITon. So I request you guys to please scan this QR code. This will take you to www.centuriton.com. And I will show you how you can register for this hackathon. So it's a pretty simple process. And I'll also walk you guys through what each participant gets. And by participant, there are 2 levels. You guys have submitted your idea online by applying, and you guys are selected for the finale. So I'll tell you what each of them get. So scanning this QR code will take you to centuriton.com. Also, this beautiful graphic you see here was made in-house within our team by Anushka and Ayush. So huge round of applause to them. Stand up. Anushka isn't here, right? Okay, yeah. So this is like the first time a certain drawing like this has ever been made. So you guys have to visit our website and press on the Apply with DevFolio button, wherein you'll enter your email, username, and password. So have you signed up before?
haven't signed up. I haven't done anything.
Okay, let's sign you up.
Okay. We can generate passwords. No. Don't say. What do you
Yeah, so this is the devfolio page, the application page for CentuRITon. Now, when you press on apply and come to this page, you will see that it will take some information from you, which is, alright, so first name, bio, and then this is the most important part where you specify things about your application. So you have to enter your age so that we know who is below 18 and who is above 18 for legal purposes. And then the theme. You can make your submission under one of these themes. The winners of each of these themes will be getting 25,000, and cumulatively there would be a grand prize of 1.5 lakhs, 1 lakh and 50,000. Now, for your submission, we have made a template so that it's uniform across all participants. So this idea submission template contains boxes wherein you need to fill all the details over here. So things like idea overview, title. So the title of your idea is what you will call your product or something. So our press summarization thing, we called it Sankshipt AI. You guys can name your idea based on what it does or who it impacts and stuff like that. So give a creative name, which is a little bit technical too if you want. And mention the theme chosen. So that will be AIML. And I'll talk to you guys about the sponsor prizes in a bit. Next, you can briefly explain the problem statement. So don't get confused over here. It's not a problem statement that we have given. It is actually the problem, real world problem that you guys are trying to solve. So whatever idea you pick, right, it is to serve a purpose or it does something. So what problem you're trying to solve, please mention it over here. Next, objective of the proposed solution. So what is the objective of your solution? What does this aim to accomplish? So our submission, it aimed to increase the availability of press releases or the readability of press releases to all audiences. So our objective is to create a TLDR, too long didn't read. So we give them some information that they can read in a quick amount of time. Mention your objectives here and then use cases of the problem or social impact. So whatever you build, it has to be, you want it to be used by someone. Otherwise, nobody would pick your idea. So you need to mention the specific use cases for your product, or you can mention the social impact that it has. So if you're making something for NGOs or non-profits, then you can mention social impact and what it does. Describe your analysis method and evaluate the methodological choices you have. So many participants get confused in this. By analysis method, we are talking about the different processes or methodologies that you guys are implementing. So in my case, it is text summarization and transformer models and stuff like that, right? So you need to mention on the left-hand side why you have picked those. So these will be mostly some technical words. And on the right side, you need to justify why you have picked this. So why have I picked a text summarization? Because it's apt to my problem statement and stuff like that. Mention your technology stack. So here's a quick tip. Most participants put up logos on this page because it makes this page look better. So whatever technologies you can use, put up the logos over here. And do not include VS Code logo. It's kind of obvious that everyone uses a code editor. So that's one thing. And mention the dependencies, if any. So if you have a hardware project, then your dependencies would be some sort of hardware. Or if your project requires internet connection, you have to mention that. Or if it requires some special scanner or something like that, you mention it over there. Mostly for software solutions, this is not required. And then team details. If you guys get selected for the finals, we need to be able to contact you, and we want to have this information on the slide and on the application as well. So please fill this in. And that's about it. This is very short. Now, one thing you see here is there's nothing called prototype submission, prototype solution, screenshots, video recordings, nothing. So that's because we want to screen the ideas and invite you over to our venue to develop your solution. So once the results are announced, there's a soft signal that you guys can start working on it, but then we really expect our participants to build the solution after the results are announced. So you do not have to make a prototype at all or provide any screenshots of any sort for this idea submission. The other teams are not doing it, and you guys should or need not do it as well. So that's that. Now coming to the prizes. So it's not just the main prizes that we are talking about, but there's a little bit more than that. If you see our website, let me just go back there. So if you come over here to prizes, these are mentioned, and there's a learn more button. This takes you to our devfolio page where we have listed the normal prizes. Scroll down here and you'll find prizes by our sponsors. So first is Polygon. So Polygon is awarding 15,000 rupees for anyone who builds a project on Ethereum or Polygon. So if you use only Ethereum, then you're eligible for 10,000 more in addition to all the other prizes that we have listed. Or you can win 15,000 more, and the other things that I mentioned here. You can win 20,000 rupees if you, 20,000 more if you use IPFS or Filecoin. And how to use this if you ask, then these links will take you to all the support material that they have to use their technology. Next is Solana. So they are giving crypto credits, and Replit is giving 5,000 rupees for any project that's deployed on Replit. So next is the FOSS track prize. So FOSS stands for free and open source software, and this company, they encourage submissions to be open source. So if your project, if you want to make it open source, as in your GitHub repository is public and anybody can use your services without a restricted login or something, then you're automatically eligible for this, but you have to mention it in your PPT. So if you're eligible, if you want to compete for the FOSS track prize, then you can make an open source software, a free and open source software or library. You can improve any existing open source software or library, you know, fork the repository, make some really great changes and show it off to these judges, and it will be considered as an improvement to an existing tool, which makes you eligible for winning 10,000 rupees under the FOSS track prize in addition to the other prizes. And on our website we have listed some more, so let me go back there. Yeah, so if you press on tracks on our website, it takes you here, which has problem statements. So the FOSS one is what I just told here. We have another sponsor, Dish Network Technologies. They've come for campus placements this year too. And they've given two very specific problem statements that they want to use in their company. So if you build a solution for this, then you will come to the finale and you will continue working on it. Judges from Dish Network will evaluate it, and you get a prize money as usual. And you also get a chance to intern at Dish Network, because you have already built something that they can use. Why wouldn't they employ you? Because you can continue building that. So winners of the Dish Network are eligible for internship offers at Dish Network. We have two tracks: website categorization model and customer acquisition model. If you press on read more, it will take you to a PDF which has more details. Apart from that, everyone who applies and submits an idea will receive a 300 rupees coupon from Geeks for Geeks, which will come in handy when you guys start preparing for placements. There are a lot of courses available on GFG for DSA, data structure and algorithms, and interviews. Apart from that, winners receive 2,000 rupees of coupons and t-shirts. Everyone coming to the finale will get stickers from loads of our sponsors. So Major League Hacking, which is a global community of hackers, MLH. We are an official MLH member event, and all participants here receive goodies. Can be stickers and there are stickers and more stuff that they're giving away. DevFolio is giving away goodies for everyone. So the finale is going to be super fun with a lot of goodies, and there's going to be a lot of fun activities. We'll have free food for everyone and lots of food for everyone. It's a 36-hour hackathon and it's overnight. So you will find a Domino's pizza box on your table randomly after you guys take a break and come back. And we have many more caterers that we are bringing in. Can't reveal everything now. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting hackathon, and I really invite you guys all to register for it. And now we are opening up the stage to doubts and any queries that you guys have.
It's 36 hours in college in one of the labs. So you'll spend 36 hours in college. So if you ever want to do that, you want to experience college at like 3 a.m. in the morning, you can do that.
Without faculty.
Yeah, without faculty. Yeah, so if you guys have questions, we're happy to take them now, and any sort of questions about the hackathon or generally about hackathons, we're open to take them.
Oh yeah, and most of the SIH centers, most of the teams who went for the finale, they all had a DJ night at their SIH finale. So they called all the teams outdoors for 1 hour, made them dance and sent them back to keep them awake at 1 a.m. in the night. That's that.
Suraj is a very good dancer. If you know. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys have doubts, you can ask them, and we'll give you chocolates for asking doubts. So there's that.
Also, we have exclusive, this is the first time that we are giving this kind of stuff away, so we have exclusive GDSC stickers and CentuRITon stickers for everyone present here.
Does anyone have doubts? We're happy to take them now. No?
And for your attendance, we are sending out volunteers here to mark your attendance.
Good attendance. Does anyone have any questions? We'll take them now. No? Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. That's it, no?
Anyone who entered late and did not get their attendance marked by Rohan here?
That's it, right? Suraj. Suraj. That's all. So we'll tell ma'am that people came and went, that's all. Okay. Yeah, so our presentation is done. If you guys want to come hang out with us here, you can, or if you want to leave, you can. It's up to you. We'll be here, and if you guys want, like, you know, one-on-one questions, we'll answer them for you.
Also, come up to the stage to collect your goodies.
There are stickers here, so you guys can come up, collect GDSC stickers. Yeah, sure. Yes. You went to Manipal, huh?
And we won our track prizes.
You went to contract this thing, sir.
But there was a problem. We wanted to integrate Google Map or one.
Okay, so
Mapbox का वो भी नहीं हुआ.
Maps APIs didn't work?
No, did work. So at last we have to exclude it. The X factor went out and then we didn't want the top three.
Oh, yeah. Difficult.
So what?